Their triumph lasted hours, our vengeance lasts centuries. And so the galaxy remembered. Forever. The stars burned cold and indifferent as the Cathari armada descended upon Emir Prime, a thriving human colony at the edge of charted space. To the aliens, it was not a war, not even a battle. It was a culling. Their ships, black and curved like blades drawn from some ancient forge, fell from the void without warning. Orbital bombardments rained down in arcs of violet fire, igniting forests, melting cities into slag, and vaporizing millions before alarms even finished sounding. The Cathari commander, a long-limbed figure wrapped in ceremonial armor, gave no thought to mercy. His voice crackled over the shattered colony's emergency channels. Earth breeds too freely. Let this world be your reminder. You are permitted no more growth. Humanity is a weed and we are the flame. They were efficient in their cruelty. Hospitals were targeted first, then escape shuttles. Human freighters that attempted to flee were impaled by plasma lances, their crews screaming as hulls vented into vacuum. Within 6 hours, Emir Prime was ash, its oceans boiled into steam, its proud spires broken into rubble. To the Cathari, it was a triumph, a declaration that humanity's era of expansion was over. The commander raised a chalice of blood wine, transmitting to his high council with mocking laughter. The Earthborn are finished. Their colonies burn, their ships flee, their spirits break. In one stroke we have put them back in their place. Their triumph had lasted hours. The mockery of victors. The Cathari feasted among the ruins, broadcasting their victory across the galactic channels. In the great amphitheater of their capital, crowds roared approval as hollows displayed the smoldering ruin of Emir Prime. Children laughed at human screams, politicians declared an age of dominance, and rival empires took careful note. Whispers spread across the galaxy. Humanity is soft. Humanity is vulnerable. Humanity bleeds like any other prey. Alien ambassadors repeated the same phrase with smug certainty. Earth will do nothing. They fear escalation. They wrap themselves in laws and councils. They will weep, but they will not strike. The Cathari reveled in this belief, certain their display of dominance had shattered mankind's resolve. After all, hadn't the humans once claimed to despise war? Weren't they always pleading for diplomacy, restraint, and peace? They drank, they laughed, they mocked. One empire's victory parade, however, was about to become the galaxy's funeral dirge. The silence before the storm. The first sign was not noise, but silence. Human diplomatic envoys withdrew from the galactic councils. Communication relays once humming with chatter from Earth, and its colonies went dark. Trade freighters disappeared from normal routes. The streams of music, art, and culture humanity poured into the void fell still. To the Cathari, it was proof of despair. They retreat into mourning, their leaders boasted. They have accepted their fate. But silence is not surrender. Silence is preparation. For beneath the oceans of Europa, in the shipyards of Luna, in the hollowed asteroids of the belt, something stirred. Vast hangars that had slept for centuries opened like ancient tombs. Engines the size of mountains roared to life, filling the void with thunder that no ear could hear but every sensor detected. Messages began to ripple across space, short and chilling. Emir Prime is remembered. The debt will be paid. Vengeance is patient, but it always comes. The galaxy, at first confused, began to understand. Earth was not broken. Earth was preparing. The awakening of Earth's wrath. The retaliation did not begin with a declaration. It began with disappearances. Cathari patrol fleets went silent, one by one. Colonies reported shadowed figures crossing their skis before all contact was lost. Entire convoys were found drifting, crews vanished, hulls branded with a single sigil, an ancient Terran emblem of justice and retribution. When the Cathari Council finally mustered the courage to investigate, they found nothing but wreckage. Human warships, once thought slow and outdated, now struck like predators from the void. They appeared without warning, unleashed devastation, and vanished before retaliation could even form. Then came the dreadnoughts. They were not ships, they were floating continents of metal, forged in secret during centuries of quiet preparation. Engines burned so bright that they cast false suns across planetary skis. Their hulls carried names etched in vengeance: Ymir's fury, Orion's judgment, Earth's memory. When they emerged, the galaxy trembled, and when they spoke, every transmission carried the same words. You ended a world in hours. We end your empire in centuries. The flood of retribution. The counterstrike fell upon the Cathari with the weight of apocalypse. Human fleets did not simply attack, they erased. Planetary shields cracked like glass before kinetic bombardments that hit with the force of extinction events. Cities turned to shadows, burned into stone. Armies that stood defiant were swept aside by soldiers in armored exosuits, moving with precision, their faces hidden behind visors that reflected only fire. Every world that had cheered the fall of Ymir Prime now knew terror firsthand. Humanity did not fight battles. Humanity delivered judgment. The galaxy watched in horror as the Cathari Empire unraveled. Not in days, not in weeks, but systematically with a patience only humanity could wield. Every outpost, every fortress, every colony was struck in turn. No reprieve, no negotiations, no escape. The aliens who once mocked Earth now fled their own homes, whispering into the dark. They will never stop. They will never forgive. Their vengeance is not measured in battles, it is measured in centuries. And they were right. The annihilation of triumph. The Cathari capital fell not in fire, but in silence. The great amphitheater where crowds once laughed at human suffering stood empty, its marble floors cracked by the tremors of orbital bombardments. The High Council chambers lay in ruins, their once-proud banners torn and burning. Overhead, the skies were filled with human ships, so many they blotted out the stars. Their formation was not chaotic, but deliberate, a vast geometric pattern that shone like a constellation of war. Every vessel's guns faced downward, waiting. The human commander's voice echoed across every frequency. You mocked our dead, you thought us weak, you thought us finished. You ended a world in hours. Now we end your name in history. Cathari will be spoken of only in ashes. Then came the fire. Not quick strikes, not surgical precision. A storm of annihilation. Orbital cannons rained destruction for 3 days without pause. When it ended, the Cathari homeworld was gone, not merely ruined but erased. A blackened scar in space where an empire had once stood proud. The galaxy learns fear. The destruction of the Cathari should have brought relief. Instead, it brought dread. Other empires had celebrated when Ymir burned. They had whispered of human weakness, laughed at human pain. But now, as they watched an entire empire vanish, they asked themselves one question. If this is how Earth answers one atrocity, what will they do if provoked again? In the silence that followed the war, human fleets did not retreat. They lingered. They patrolled. They reminded every corner of the galaxy that Earth does not forget. That vengeance is not a storm, but a season, long, cold, and absolute. The whispers began in every court, in every council, in every chamber of power. Never provoke Earth. never harm their kind. Their patience is vast, but their vengeance lasts forever. The eternal shadow of vengeance. Centuries passed, stars shifted, empires rose and fell, but the memory of Earth's wrath endured like a scar carved into galactic memory. Merchants still tell the tale in hushed voices, how the Cathari boasted, how they laughed, and how their triumph lasted only hours. Parents warn their children with old proverbs, "Do not wake Earth's silence." On forgotten battlefields, human memorials stand where colonies once burned, monuments not of grief, but of promise, that every life taken unjustly is remembered, and every world lost is avenged. For humanity does not rage quickly. Humanity endures. Humanity waits. But when the time comes, when the silence finally breaks, their answer is always the same, swift, cold, and eternal. And so the galaxy lives beneath the shadow of Earth's vengeance, knowing one truth above all others. Their triumph lasted hours, Earth's vengeance lasts centuries.